I hated waking up early, but guess what I started doing? I set my alarm clock on the other side of the room, so it forced me to get my happy butt out of bed, walk across the room, shut the alarm. Am I going to go back to bed at this point? No, I already got my blood flowing. I'm ready to freaking rock and roll. And what else did I start doing? I started setting the alarm at 3 and 4 in the morning sometimes, depending on when I would go to bed, but typically about 3 in the morning. Well, Jason, that seems a little extreme. Why so early? Well, considering the fact that I'm already waking up at 2:25 in the morning during normal work weeks for me, right? Work days, because my shift starts at quarter after 3. I shower the night before. I get my clothes ready for the next day. So then when my alarm goes off, I get up out of bed, boom, shut it off, go do all my business, get changed, get ready, make my tea, and out the door I go by 2:50. I do all that within 25 minutes. Boom, 5-minute drive. Guess what? I'm early to work. Even though my shift starts at 3:15, I'm there 15 to 20 minutes early. Preparation. Welcome to Home Front Battles, where spiritual warfare meets everyday life. In your thoughts, in your habits, in your home. And we're here to equip the warrior, expose the enemy, and take back what's ours. You know, one of the greatest weapons a person can carry through every season of life, and believe me when I say this because it's one of my greatest weapons as well, is preparation. Not strength, it's not talent, not even intelligence, it's preparation. Preparation, I was taught early on, from the time of my youth all the way up into my adulthood, and even now, I carry this principle like bulletproof armor. There's a saying that I always heard from a few people out there. One of them was a well-respected manager, a boss, a colleague I would also consider. And he always said, if you fail to prepare, then prepare to fail. Or some of you might have heard it as, if you fail to plan, then plan to fail. Both mean the same exact thing, just worded a little differently. And it's not just a clever phrase, it's a law of reality. See, you're not going to rise to the occasion. You will fall to the level of your preparation. I once heard a Navy SEAL say that 1 is none and 2 is 1. Well, what's that really mean? Well, it means redundancy is wisdom. It means always having a backup. It means don't show up to the battlefield, whether it's metaphorically or physically, but don't show up to the battlefield of life with one plan and call it good. Or call it, it's faith. Don't, it's a bad idea, bad plan. Because the enemy, which can take the shape of hardship, a curveball, or that breakdown, right? It's always going to be waiting for you. And when it strikes, your preparation becomes your survival. So what should you be doing? Expect the unexpected. We've all heard that too. But a lot of people don't truly embody that in their spirit. They don't expect the unexpected. They just expect that things should go their way. Why? I don't know. Maybe because we believe we should have the perfect life and have the perfect scenario in all situations. But the reality is, that's not the case. That's not paranoia, that's precision, right? Being prepared is having foresight. It's called maturity. This isn't some elite doctrine that's reserved for soldiers or warriors of war, right? This is for anyone who wants to win spiritually, emotionally, and practically. Now, what I've found, and maybe you've seen this too, is that people that stop preparing when life gets easier. I don't know why that is. People they stop preparing when situations get better. Is it because comfort breeds carelessness? I don't know. And comfort is where danger creeps in, right? In the military, and for the record, I'm not a veteran, but I know a lot of people who are veterans. I have a lot of family members who are, but in the military, I know that there is a saying that complacency kills. And also, not metaphorically, quite literally. You get used to things going smoothly and you stop running the drill. You stop checking your six. You think, I've done this 1,000 times. It'll be fine, right? Until it's not fine. And that's the moment the car breaks down. The system at work crashes. That's when the opportunity that you were waiting for slips through your fingers because of something that unexpectedly, right, came up. Because why? You weren't ready. Now, let me be clear. This message isn't just for you. It's for me as well. It's because I've been caught flat-footed myself in the past. I've gotten lazy and I've paid for it very, very dearly. But here's the good news. Preparation is always available. Discipline isn't a talent. It's a decision. You can choose it today. Now, I want to take a moment here and just say that if this message is already, waking something inside of you, and if you're thinking about these areas in your life that you've neglected and the moments that you weren't ready, then I want to ask you to do one thing. Subscribe to this channel, click that notification bell, and share this message with somebody that you think really needs to hear it, because the truth of the matter is most people do. This world needs more prepared people, in my humble opinion. We need more warriors. We need more disciplined minds. A lot of people out there just are very undisciplined. I like what Dave Ramsey says on his show when he says, children do what feels good, but adults devise a plan and execute it. And that's what you have to do. You have to be an adult, which means you have to execute a plan of action. And if you're going to have a plan of action, that means you have to prepare for that plan. Sometimes preparation starts with the smallest act, like being early. Not on time, early. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. Early is on time is late, in my opinion. And if you talk to my wife, you'll understand just how neurotic and crazy I can get about this little pet peeve. But showing up 5 minutes early says, I'm ready. I respect this moment. You can count on me, right? And let's be honest, how many people have you met who make excuses? Well, traffic caught me up. You're not going to believe what happened, right? If you know traffic patterns and you still show up late, that's not called bad luck. That's called preparation. Again, if you know that at a certain time of day, traffic typically increases, this thing called rush hour, well, maybe that means you should get up maybe 30 minutes earlier, get ready 30 minutes sooner, and leave the house 30 minutes early. So then, when you have to go to work or show up for that meeting or whatever it is that you're showing up for, you're not going to be on time or late. You're going to be early. It drives me nuts. Preparation is love. Preparation is honor. It's respect. It's respect and honor for yourself, for your time, for others, and for purpose. Sun Tzu once said that the victorious warrior wins first and then goes to war. The defeated warrior goes to war first and then seeks to win. Think about that for a moment. There's some really profound insight there. The victorious warrior wins first, then goes to war. That means they've already won in the battlefield of their mind. The defeated warrior just goes to war and then seeks to win. They didn't prepare. See, when you prepare first and you envision the war and all the scenarios that could go on, right? What could go right, what could go wrong, you mentally and physically prepare what could go wrong or right. So then it allows you to pivot that much easier. And when you are able to pivot in these situations that much more easier, then you have a higher likelihood of winning the war, right? Victory happens in the planning room, in the early mornings that no one sees, in the quiet discipline when there is no audience. It's so funny when people say, oh my God, it just seems like you were an overnight success. Well, the reason it seems like you were an overnight success in whatever business that you're in is because you prepared in the hours when everybody was asleep. You prepared. You prepared in the hours when everybody was asleep. Preparation is invisible until the moment it's everything. And then all of a sudden, boom, hey, you're an overnight success. That's not how that works. The reason it looks like it works like that is because you didn't see the behind the scenes action that was taking place. You know, when David faced Goliath, he didn't show up randomly with a sling. He had been preparing. Out in the fields, facing lions, facing bears, facing whatever predators were out there, sharpening his aim, strengthening his courage when no one was watching. Again, preparation is invisible. God had been training him all along. So when the moment came, David wasn't intimidated. He wasn't unsure. He was ready. Your Goliath is eventually going to come one day. And the question is going to be, will you be prepared? Preparation, again, I'm going to reiterate, is not paranoia. It's faith in action. It's building the ark before the rain, sharpening the blade before the battle, filling your lamp with oil before the midnight cry. Preparation honors the future you hope for. So I want to ask you this. What are you doing today to prepare for what you say you want? You say you want a better job, but are you sharpening your skills? You want a meaningful relationship, but have you become the kind of man or woman who can nurture that relationship? You say you want to lead, but are you studying leadership? Are you reading the books? Are you listening to leadership podcasts? You want to walk in purpose, but are you waking up early? Are you journaling? Are you praying? Are you planning? Have you stopped hitting that snooze button, but instead just get up? Your preparation proves your hunger. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect in all arenas in this, but it is a strong, applicable work in progress that I even practice in my very own life. I used to hit the snooze button like, no pun intended, like clockwork all the time. Not just once, not just twice, but 3, 4, 5 times sometimes. I hated waking up. I hated waking up early. But guess what I started doing? I set my alarm clock on the other side of the room, so it forced me to get my happy butt out of bed, walk across the room, shut the alarm. Am I going to go back to bed at this point? No. I already got my blood flowing. I'm ready to freaking rock and roll. And what else did I start doing? I started setting the alarm at 3 and 4 in the morning sometimes, depending on when I would go to bed, but typically about 3 in the morning. Well, Jason, that seems a little extreme. Why so early? Well, considering the fact that I'm already waking up at 2:25 in the morning during normal work weeks for me, right? Work days, because my shift starts at 3:15, and I only live like 5 minutes away from work, so I wake up at 2:25 in the morning. I would have already showered the night before, so therefore, that's a little preparation there, right? I shower the night before. I get my clothes ready for the next day. So then when my alarm goes off, I get up out of bed, boom, shut it off, go do all my business, get changed, get ready, make my tea, and out the door I go by 2:50. I do all that within 25 minutes. Boom, 5-minute drive. Guess what? I'm early to work. Even though my shift starts at 3:15, I'm there 15 to 20 minutes early. Preparation. Again, your preparation proves your hunger, because when preparation meets opportunity, people call it luck, but it's never luck. It's alignment, it's foresight, it's discipline, ladies and gentlemen. You know, General Dwight D. Eisenhower once said, in preparing for battle, I have always found that plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. Now, what did he mean by that? Life will always shift on you, right? No plan survives contact with the enemy. But if you've trained your mind, conditioned your heart, and prepared your environment, then you adapt, you adjust, and you keep moving. Preparation doesn't make you rigid, it makes you resilient. You're not fragile, you're forged. And forging takes fire. Now again, I want to speak directly to you. Where have you gotten comfortable? Where are you hoping but not preparing? Because if the door opened tomorrow, would you be ready? The time to prepare is not when the storm hits, it's when the skies are clear. If you're only gathering wood in the winter, you've waited way too long. Preparation is the mark of the wise. So to close this out, I want to give you 7 practical takeaways from this conversation. Number 1, wake up early. Prepare your mind, your spirit for the day, right? That's number 1. Number 2, keep a checklist. Pilots do, so should you. You know, as a truck driver who hauls fuel hazardous material, we have to do a pre-trip and then a post-trip at the end of our shift to make sure that our equipment is prepared for the day, to make sure lug nuts aren't loose, to make sure that the oil is well, topped off, to make sure our coolant is good and there are no leaks, to make sure we have windshield washer fluid, to make sure to have we're able to clean our windshields during the day in the event of a snowstorm, or in the summertime. We get a lot of bugs up here in Michigan. We have to make sure that we prepare for these things. Pre-trips and post-trips are everything. That's called planning. Number 3, practical takeaway. Rehearse the worst-case scenarios in your mind. Familiarity beats fear. Number 4, have backups, files, gear, relationships, strategies. Number 5, be early. Again, kind of goes along the lines with number 1, waking up early, but number 5, be early, always. It speaks louder than words. It speaks, I respect your time. I respect my own time, and I honor it. Take notes. Number 6, take notes. Reflect on failures. Journal. Track your wins, but also reflect on your losses and learn from those losses. And number 7, stay hungry. Never assume you've arrived. Never assume that you've won in life. Be grateful, be appreciative, but stay hungry. Because preparation isn't something you do, okay? It's something you become. So let this be the season that you stop hoping and start preparing. Stop wishing and start training. Don't wait for the opportunity to arrive. Become the person it's looking for. I just listened to a podcast from, who was it? Alex Hermalzi, I believe his name is. Either him or Dan Martell. I think it was Alex. Yeah, Alex Hermalzi. He's multimillionaire, awesome businessman. Love listening to his podcast. And he said, you have, if you want to become somebody, you have to do the things that person does in order to have the life you want to achieve. So in other words, it's very simple. He has it simplified in 3 words: be, do, and have. If you want to be a man of honor and a businessman and a man of respect, someone who is highly esteemed by other business people with a high network, then you have to do the hard things that a businessman would do, a man of honor and high esteem would do. What does that look like? Well, don't be disgusting. Don't use foul language. Show up on time. Be early. Make eye contact when talking. Remember names. And when you do the things that a highly esteemed man or woman would do, then you have the life and the luxury and all the things that you desire to have. But most people always say, well, once I have the opportunities and have the money, then I will do the things that make me become a bigger and better business person. That's not how that works. You don't get the results and then you become. You have to become and then the results follow. So again, don't wait for opportunity to arrive. Become the person you're looking for. Become the person you're looking for. If I didn't make myself clear enough, become the person that it's looking for. Because when the door opens, it's not going to wait for you to get dressed and put your shoes on. Be ready. Not just be ready. Stay ready. Live ready. Preparation is the silent power behind every great victory. Don't ever leave home without it. God bless, and we'll see you next time.